at T-Mobile Park in great anticipation of Friday's home opener with none other than the American League champion Houston Astros. So at the very least, it's going to be a great series of baseball for opening weekend here in Soto in Seattle. But we're also pretty excited to get to see the opening day logos being painted on the grass. Hand painted, a little bit of stenciling out, but most of it is really just artwork. And we'll learn a little bit more about that and what it takes to put the field together and keep it in Major League Baseball shape. And there is prep in every corner of this ballpark happening. They even have a roller to make sure that the baseline there, that's the first baseline there, is just the right flatness and consistency so the guys can make the run at 90 feet from home plate over to first base, which has not been installed yet. We're still waiting for the bags to come in, but they got to do a lot of raking and rolling and moving the dirt around in order to make that happen. And of course, you see the mowers out there. The head groundskeeper, Tim Wilson's going to tell us a little bit more about that. Believe it or not, the mowing, he'll tell you, is not as big of a job as you think, but definitely very important in terms of how it affects the ball in play. And of course, they're going over that infield surface. We'll learn more about that from Tim as well. As I mentioned, there is an artist behind these opening day logos, and it is Jay Herrick, who's been working hard. Jay, let's see your hands. Yeah, caught red-handed, but this time it's in a good way. Hopefully they give you a sweatshirt that doesn't have paint all over it.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent, excellent. So tell me a little bit about what goes into painting this logo, because it's, it's perfect, and one would think there's, some stenciling going on, but I saw a lot of freehand work happening.
It is a stencil at first, for sure. It's a bunch of dots that we then use boards to get straight lines for, and all the curves are a freehand, so it's a just a practice of getting the right angle and, making sure it's even and consistent. That's really what I look for when I'm out there. That's about it.
Yeah, what kind of paint do you use so that if it rains before they can get the roof closed, it doesn't wash away?
It's actually water-based paint, so it would wash away, but it is really great for the grass. It allows it to still photosynthesize and do what it needs to do without killing it. So.
Excellent, excellent. How long will these? I'm assuming you're going to just keep them for the weekend, then, the logos.
Correct. Yeah, until they mow out, probably another, week or two. They'll be gone. They'll grow out.
Is there going to be another logo in its place afterwards?
Not sure yet. Could be, could not be. Hopefully. Enjoy painting, so let's hope so.
Are you already practicing up for your All-Star Game logos for 23?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. You can tell it looks pretty good, and I'm pretty hyped.
Well, and Tim was just telling me, he's excited about getting the fans in here. What does it mean to you that, that's something that they'll all be looking at for sure and loving it because, they're so excited to be back. What's it mean to you to have this stuff put together for the fans?
Yeah, it feels great. I really appreciate being able to be the one given the gift to, put down a good coat of paint, but really, it's about just staying calm and cool and comfortable, and they can't notice the tiny mistakes that I can see, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, where I would be sitting way up there, because that's the only place they'll let me in here. They don't let me, they keep me up there with the riffraffs. But yeah, no, I would know. From here, it looks great. From there, I'm sure it will look equally as great. Jay Herrick, the artist extraordinaire, thanks for that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So we are with Tim Wilson. He is the head groundskeeper here at T-Mobile Park, and we got a big thing happening here. The opening day logo being painted on the grass as we speak. Tim, talk a little bit about this job and what goes into it.
It's a year-round operation. Many people probably don't realize that, but we're maintaining the grass. We have heating coils, we have a sub-air system, so we're we're mowing and maintaining the grass throughout the entire calendar year. But obviously, as we get closer to opening day, we're ramping things up, and that's when we're bringing our full-time staff. I mean, today's always an exciting day because we're painting the logos. It means opening day is just around the corner, and this is my 23rd opening day, but it's always exciting. It's exciting to have the fans back.
Yeah,
as much as anything.
Indeed. Now, do you have a stencil you're working off of, or is that all freehand?
No, he's also an artist on the side too, so we have a stencil to spot it, but he's my main painter, and he does a lot of painting on the side, so he's great at this. So he's able to do this freehand.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, you use the term sub-air. Did I hear you right? Wait, what is that?
It's a sub-air system. Is basically a big giant vacuum underneath the grass, so we could pull out moisture. We could also pump in heat with our heating coil, so it's nice to have those, here in Seattle especially.
Yeah, and you talked about it being a year-round operation. One of the things I was thinking about as I was on my way here is, I wanted to ask you what it takes to put together and maintain a field for Major League Baseball standards.
I mean, it's definitely a team effort. I mean, the people that I hire, we have a great crew this year. It's attention to detail and wanting everything to be perfect, quite honestly. I mean, there's more than baseball. There's outside events too. But what matters to me and to my crew is the 81 baseball games and hopefully beyond. So it's guys that have that attention to detail and want everything perfect as much as possible.
Yeah, and you had mentioned, I see the mower going behind us right now as we speak. Is there a specific length that MLB says the grass should be?
No. We right now we're cutting at 7/8 of an inch. So for cooler season grasses, like we have bluegrass that's overseeded by ryegrass, generally it's between an inch, maybe a little bit more than that. I like to keep it at 7/8 an inch. Our team likes that. It's a little bit quicker. If you get down to California, the warmer places, it's cut usually even shorter than that, so it's even quicker.
Was that because it grows slower in the colder?
Yeah, it's a different variety of grass that does better in the sun and the heat. But up in the Pacific Northwest, the bluegrasses do better and the ryegrasses do better, but you can't cut them quite as short for baseball.
Well, and as a lifelong baseball fan, I should know, but is bluegrass a standard for the league?
It's not. It's the predominant thing for cooler seasons. So for the teams that are more north in the colder climates, bluegrass is the most common grass, but we also overseed it with ryegrass.
What do you know about the ballparks in the warmer climates? You know anything about the kinds of grass they use?
Yeah, they're mostly Bermuda grass, overseeded with ryegrass. There's some other grasses that other teams are experimenting with, but that's more generally just like even the golf courses down there, more Bermuda grass with an overseeded ryegrass.
Now, you're talking to a guy who lived in Palm Springs for a few years, so a lot of Bermuda grass all over the head of my golf clubs.
For sure.
So I also wanted to know, because I never have asked, what the infield surface material is.
It's a mix of, every infield is a mix of three products: clay, sand, and silt. And so we have specific ratios that we go. We honestly spend more time on the dirt portions of the field than we do on the grass. It takes, on a game day, it takes about an hour and a half to mow the whole field. We have 5 guys on mowers, and it takes about an hour and a half, but we're spending a lot more time on the dirt. To me and to our team, I always want to make sure they're getting good ball roll. The JP knows the ball's not going to come up on him. He's getting consistent moisture, that there's no lips, there's no edges that build up and all that. So that's, 80% of the game is on dirt. A lot of it's on grass, but a lot of it's on dirt. And so we actually spend more time maintaining the moisture, making sure the consistency and the firmness is the way we want it. So, and it's also nice having a roof. I don't have to worry about tarp poles here, so it's easier to maintain that moisture here.
Yeah, well, if I had a nickel for every time I watched the tarp crew have to roll that out so quickly to protect the infield, that's a nice little treat that you guys don't have to do that, huh?
For sure. We do have a tarp. It's sitting out there behind right center field, but hopefully we're not ever pulling it out.
Well, as we can see, it's we were worried today, but the roof is definitely open. So the other thing, too, I definitely wanted to ask you about, because I'm looking at the mound over here. What kind of standards do you have to maintain for the mound to be right?
That across the league, they're spec'd out. It has to be 10 inches above the height of home plate. It has to come out 6 inches flat and then slope 1 inch per foot. And the table on the top has to be 5 feet wide. And, so that's all spec'd out. That's something that we get inspected by Major League Baseball every year. And the same for the bullpens. Bases have to be at 90 feet. So that's something that we check before every opening day, and we check throughout the season to make sure we're within those regulations.
Is it tough to keep the mound within regulations? It looks like it's in pretty good shape and ready to go.
It's not, because I have the same guy that's painting Jay as my mound guy, and he stays it on the entire season, and he does a great job.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, you had mentioned you're excited about the fans coming back. You know, what is a day like today, knowing they're going to be here the next day? What does that mean to you as you're getting ready here last minute?
It's just exciting, honestly, that we're getting back to normal. You know, I mean, it doesn't, the fans, if there's 0 fans or there's 46,000 fans, it doesn't change my job, doesn't change what we do. And I tell my guys that no matter how many fans are in the stands, we're not going to change how we do our job. But as a fan of the team, as an employee of the team, it's exciting just to have packed house. I know the players thrive off of that, and it's good to have a packed house, because the last couple of years we haven't had that opportunity.
Yeah, I know it's going to be good to see all the seats filled. Now, I know this is not your area, but you say you're a fan of the team as well as an employee. You know they've done some pretty incredible building in the offseason. What's your expectation this season?
It's hard to say. I'm excited. I was down in Peoria a couple weeks ago with my family, and there was just a different buzz and they're normal. And I just think with the additions and the young kids we got coming up, you know, and the veterans that we've kept, you know, it's hard to predict right now. A lot could happen, but I'm excited. I think we have potential to have a really solid team, and I like what Jerry's done in building the roster and the minor league staff.
Wonderful. Tim Wilson, Mariners head groundskeeper here at T-Mobile Park. Thank you, sir. Get one more shot of the opening day logo.